Hi, it's Rochelle Painbaum. I did not do my show last week because I had laryngitis, but I am getting back. I still have a little bit of a voice deficit, so I hope you can understand me. But anyway, we're having a special week this week because I have my awesome friend here, Nicole Sterling. We actually named one of our sons after the Sterlings, so we love the Sterlings a lot.
We love you too.
She and her husband's my husband's best friend. They grew up together. So, I wanted to interview Nicole because she's just been an amazing person that I've looked up to and admired a lot. And she's gone through a lot of barriers in her life, and she's had a lot of amazing breakthroughs, which has really inspired me. So, I was hoping we could just spend a few minutes and share a little bit. And so I'm just going to ask her a few questions and have her introduce herself and let us know. She's kind of on a new adventure right now. And so anyway, just tell us a little bit about what you do for the Sterling Foundation. And she also helps run my husband's business as well. So she's just very talented in the entrepreneurial world. So tell us a little bit, what is the foundation? What does it do? And you can periodically look at the camera too as well.
I'm trying to avoid the camera.
So
I started the foundation about 8 months ago. My brother-in-law came to me and he wanted to do a lot of good in the world and didn't have a lot of time. And at the time I was in a position vocationally that I was doing really fulfilling work and important work, and I enjoyed it a lot, besides also helping to run our business. But my daughter was really struggling with depression and anxiety and panic attacks, so much so that she really only went to school 3 days last year, or 10 days last year out of the whole year.
The whole year?
Yeah. And
wow.
Her teachers worked really well with her. We did a lot of work at home with her, and she was able to maintain her grades, but I knew that something had to change. And I knew because of my daughter's heart, which is really based on helping other people. It's in her very core. I knew that would be the one thing that could help her the most, is to focus on other people and seeing people that have a hard life, that she could do something to help and assist. And so when my brother-in-law approached me and said, I want you to come start this foundation for me, it was really an answer to prayer.
Totally. Wow. This is my chills.
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew that it would be the way that I could help my daughter overcome what she was dealing with. So I said I would, and I quit my job. And our first project was heading off to Rwanda. To help build a school there. And
like an elementary school, or?
No, it's actually a school that is run by some nuns over there, some Catholic nuns, that was focused on serving the poor and the needy. In Rwanda, if you had money, you could get a good education. Mm-hmm. Without a lot, it was very difficult to even get any education. And these nuns had this little school that they were running, and they also service the majority of girls. The ratio, I think, is like about 6-1, girls to boys, which is also very unique because the boys there receive the extended education much more than the girls. And so I decided I was going to take my daughter, who has panic attacks and severe anxiety, put her on a plane with me, and go to Rwanda.
Wow. Did she want to go?
I was very nervous. It took a lot of prayer to decide that was the thing to do. She was excited to go.
Cool.
Because she knew that she'd have a chance to help people. This is my girl that whenever she sees anybody on the side of the road, she can't reach for her purse fast enough to try and help them.
So awesome.
And she's the girl that when her brother was in trouble when he was younger and wasn't going to be able to go to a party, she said, Mom, can I take his punishment for him? I mean, she's just sweet to the core.
Sweetheart.
And so I popped her on a plane with me. We went over to Rwanda, And I saw the biggest difference in her. She was able to relax and be herself, and she saw the light in those young kids' eyes and couldn't believe it. And I about fell on the floor when she asked if she could take the microphone and address these 700 kids.
700?
And tell them how
Oh my
beautiful they were and how
goodness.
she admired the
Wow.
light in their eyes. And I knew then that this was going to be the thing that could help her. So we've been on a crazy journey the last several months. We've been to Rwanda and to Mexico. We helped out some orphanages down there, and we've done a lot of other projects, but she since has been able to return to school.
Wow.
She has
I had no
only missed, I
idea.
think, 2 days this year instead of only going 10 days last year. So
That is like a miracle story.
Definitely.
Wow, that is so
Definitely.
cool.
yeah.
Like it gave her the confidence, or what was it that? I don't know. That's,
Well, I mean, it's probably a combination of things. It's a lot of prayer. She had
Yeah.
she had some therapy, which helped as well, though she'd been doing therapy for a long time. But I think a combination of realizing that other people had huge challenges that she could help with, and that focusing on other people and how she can help made her forget about
her
her
situation.
anxieties, her stresses, her worries about what people thought about her. She still has it, but she's so much better. It's incredible.
Wow.
And the reason
Excuse
the
me.
thing that kind of gave me the idea that this would be a good solution is back when I was serving in my church, there was a lady who really, really suffered from depression. She couldn't even get out of bed. And I tried so hard to figure out a way to help her
To help her.
be better, be able to take care of her family, be able to function. And the thought came to me, involve her in this service project that we're doing. That we found out that in Afghanistan, these ladies, that when their husbands would get mad at them or would get sick of them, they would ship their wives and their children off to prison. And it would be these cement floors that they would just
To prison?
to prison.
They let him do that?
That's what the husband's
Oh
right
my
was.
goodness.
It's just to get away from
Oh
them,
my goodness.
to shove them off into prison.
Glad my husband doesn't do that. Oh my
And so we were, as a neighborhood, we decided to make quilts to help at least soften where they would be sleeping, give them some warmth, and they wouldn't have to be just straight on the concrete. And we were meeting in the middle of the cul-de-sacs and pulling out quilt frames and tying quilts. I knew she wasn't going to be able to do that. I knew that. But I kept thinking, what can she do that would give her a reason to look outside of herself?
Outside of herself.
And so on the backs of the quilts, we were taking sheets and unpicking the seams, the hems,
Mm-hmm.
and using that as a quilt back. So I went over to her and I said, I really need your help. Can you take these sheets and unpick the seams and then give them back to me? And I explained what they were for. And I said, no pressure, but if you can just at least do a couple, it would really help me out. And the next day she called me and said, I've done this. Can you give me more? So I took over more. She did it. And over a period of about
Excuse me.
maybe 2 weeks after doing sheet after sheet after sheet, she said, you know what, I kind of want to come quilt these with you guys. And she
Wow.
came out of her house and helped us
Wow.
quilt these quilts.
Something so simple that really like made a huge difference.
Yep. It was
That's
quite a
awesome.
testimony to me about
Yeah.
what service can do.
That's awesome. That's why I admire Nicole, because she listens to inspirational things and things that go through her head, and makes a big difference for people, especially Caitlin, right, as well.
Yep.
So, are you going anywhere else besides Rwanda, Mexico?
We have a lot of projects going on. We have several in
And what are you
Ethiopia.
doing? Ethiopia?
So
What are you doing
there's a foundation there called Project Mercy that is doing a lot of great things. So we've decided to partner with them. One of the big problems in Ethiopia is that they don't have enough protein. A lot of times these kids, the last protein they get is from their mother's milk. And
Wow.
then they really just don't have much protein.
What do they eat? So they eat
It's-
like cattle? I thought they ate cattle or...
And no, but it's a lot of times a porridge mix of different grains. But this group, Project Mercy, they do have cows in Ethiopia, but the indigenous ones just really don't give very much milk. I think it's 2 liters a day. And so they've started a project where they're crossbreeding with heifers from the United States that produce more like 8 or 9 liters a day. And so they're crossbreeding them, which gives them the qualities of the indigenous, being able to survive off of
no
poor
water
conditions and but then they're able to produce much more milk. And they're also doing chicken breeding. They have several hospitals, several schools. We're hoping to build onto one of their schools and hire some teachers, and just a lot of great projects there.
So how do you find those kind of people? Like, you just look on the internet? Like, how are you, like, that must be kind of a barrier, like something that's difficult. Like, how do you, like this Project Mercy people, how did you find them or contact them? Or
So actually, Ed Rowe, who's on our board, he did a lot of work. He's an international attorney and has done a lot of work all around the world. And he had some contacts in Ethiopia and went out there to see what good he could do, and came back with several projects that were really worthwhile and are excited to embark on.
And he just moved into your area recently, right? So it seems like God sometimes puts people right in your path
I know he does. Yeah.
make things happen.
He opens doors that are supposed to be opened, and
that's awesome. So, like, what advice would you give for somebody if they want to make a difference in the world?
Roll up your sleeves and get to work. I mean, there's so many opportunities. You don't have to go around the world to find people who are in need. There's a great website called justserve.org. You can look on there and find
justserve.org.
They list all of the different service projects going on in your area specifically. And I tell you, it's fantastic for kids that are used to sitting, playing games on their phone or whiling away their time watching videos or whatever. If you can get them hooked on service when they're young, it makes all the difference in the world. They can live a much more fulfilling life, one that looks outward to help instead of inward,
right?
Which is a much happier, more satisfied life.
Yeah.
And it really is being hooked. You start to serve, and it feels almost selfish at one point because you end up feeling so good doing it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's amazing the way that works.
Yeah, it's a win-win. So I know a lot of kids get on social media, which sometimes makes them more depressed because they see the perfect of everybody else, but seeing, like Kate, your daughter, seeing the other people in the world who are suffering a lot more than we even know here, can help change their perspective, right? Like,
absolutely,
that's great.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that happened with her. That's so exciting. So for any of you out there want to help serve, I know we need to all do that more often because so often we're focused on ourselves, especially with social media. It's just kind of how our world is focused so much on the me. And so let's kind of get outside of ourselves and justserve.org. What if people want to learn about what you're doing or anything like that? Is there applications or?
We're just developing our website. Again, we just received our 501c3 designation, the nonprofit designation, just a couple of months ago.
Okay.
So we haven't really developed our website completely yet or done any of those things, but we're just grateful to have the chance to.
Well, so maybe in a year from now or 6 months, maybe we can rendezvous again and have another interview and see what else you're doing. I know I want my kids to have a chance maybe to go for a week and do something similar. So anyway,
I should say a Child's Hope Foundation is a fantastic foundation if you want to just do, I think they call it a servicecation. It's like a vacation where you take your family and you get to serve at the beginning.
I want my kids to do that for sure.
It's fantastic. That's what I took Caitlin down to do. The first half of the day we were helping make physical improvements to the orphanage, and then the second half of the day they take you around to see the sites in the area, and you get to play with the orphans and make super great friends help these kids know that there are people that love them. But it's in a short time period, like when you have a week vacation for your family, you can go do some good and
So
also
it's part of both.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's called what?
A Child's Hope Foundation.
The Child's Hope Foundation. So that's another one you guys can look up. A Child's Hope Foundation. Try and get your kids to do some service. I'm just really glad I got to meet with Nicole. And anything else that you want to? Any advice? Besides that, that's
I think I'm all
good.
tapped out.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
So, thanks so much. Yeah, for those of you that want to keep posted, probably hopefully in 6 months or a year, we might do another interview and see what else is going on around the world that they're doing. And hopefully one of my kids can go help out and we'll have some good experiences and pictures to show. So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you being with us today. So have a good evening.